begin our conversation on the automotive industry. The Director General of the National Automotive Council was speaking last week in Lagos, and he said that over 11.2 billion naira has been given out as soft loans to auto part components manufacturers in the country, all in a bid to ensure that the policy is an ongoing thing. It keeps going on, rather, and of course it's a growing concern in terms of the fact that the ministry has been putting everything together to ensure that this automotive policy realizes its full potential. And I'm being joined right now by the chairman, the Automobile Group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It is Oseme Oigagbe. Thank you, Mr. Oseme, for coming on the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Olaji.
A lot of work has been done in terms of what the automotive industry is set to achieve. I want to start on this note. Your assessment on the work done so far, because last week we had the Director General of the National Automotive Council in Lagos trying to intimate the press as to what level of work has been put into the realization of the goals of this policy. What's your own take on that?
It's a very huge policy, but I think in any of this sort of situation, you are norming, you are storming, and along the line, you need to get it right. So my take is that we're going through the norming, the storming stage, and we're on the path of setting the record straight if we do the implementations and follow through the tenets of a policy in terms of all the conceptual framework, the policy benefits, the aims and objective of ensuring that the automobile industry gets back on the mainstream. We're excited if all do take place, but ensuring in such situation, Nigeria being a very diverse country, and the economic structure of the country is also having its own challenges. You probably will not have it straight as you define from a table theoretical framework. But when you're now going to the nitty-gritty of implementation, start to see different hydra-headed issues that occur in our environment. And so that's why it's work in progress, and the determination to follow such a policy through will require a very strong will. Because issues are very, very pertinent. They have to do with the human element, the issue of safety, the issue of it touches on every part of our life. The automobile is one very, very fundamental aspect of our life. It is an investment asset that is productive in nature, is also transformative in nature in terms of where you move from one point to another. So a lot of things are tied up to automobile business in the country, or automotive itself. Okay. So I see that they're doing some. It's a good effort, but we'll make sure that we get through with it.
How has Nigerians been responding to this policy? Because I know you're more into this in terms of tariffs. Of course, we've been told that you're going to be paying some amount of tariffs, in order to discourage the importation of new cars. Of course, that has been an issue for a while as to when do we begin to charge? Okay, what has been the response like?
The response has been a very mixed bag because I guess we need to understand, we need to set the record straight. Currently, as we speak, probably before in the last 2 years, probably doing a maximum of about 50,000 new vehicles, but over a 450 to 550,000 used vehicle. We can see the difference.
On a monthly basis
or
on
an annual basis?
Annual basis, okay.
So the issues there is to reverse the trend from a situation where we do used vehicles to new vehicles. A used vehicle is a used vehicle anywhere in the world. It has its challenges no matter how well maintained it is. You form the line of what the warranty issues are there and issues about ownership. And so it's been a mixed reaction. But because we have almost turned to a used vehicle environment, once there's any change in that policy, tariff structure, there will be an outcry. 2 weeks ago there was a strike at the port because they are large in numbers of people involved in the trade, people who are recipients of a vehicle, and any other person who has opportunity of going abroad is a car dealer. By the time he comes back with 3 or 2 cars in front of his house, he put for sale. And you just know that person starts selling cars. And so there is a lot of persons tied up to this industry. But ordinarily, if the industry was operating from a production set of view, where it will contribute to the national domestic product, it's actually an industry that has a high level of employability. So the reaction from are in twofold. One, in terms of the issue about infrastructure, to ensure that the industry that will be set up would have functional power to run. The issue about policies, the regulations, structures in terms of tariff. I must say that tariff, most part of the world, has always been the instrument in ensuring you regulate such an industry. And so it is not unusual to find the tariff taking a new form of import duty, import levy. And where we have come to now is that 35% import duty for new vehicle and 35% levy for cars. And if you look at the structure, a letter issued by the coordinating minister for the economy, which states categorically how the tariff regimes will run. You will find out that's where the issue will come in, paying over 70% of that thing. But will that turn around the factory around? That's not it. There is a program between any other of this automobile policy on how the investors who get involved in setting up in factories, run the mill, and then get products out. You must understand this is not like just putting some flowers into one hopper, putting a baker in an oven and getting a bread. Automobile industry is a different ball game. You are talking about assembly of components, systems that has to do with human life.
Okay.
So testing.
I just want to find out, just before I go on, the importers of finished, or rather used cars, to what extent have they sold these cars? Because we're getting to December gradually.
Yeah.
Because although we understand that this policy may be reviewed when it's around that period, because we've been told by the National Automotive Council that could be reviewed. However, to what extent or to what level have they sold this car, used cars, so that they don't have a large chunk of them in their stores when it's very close to the expiry period?
Sorry, I'm coming from a position where I will not have pity on those who are doing used car business, but I will explain to you the issues. This is about the fourth review. When this policy was initiated 1 year ago, we had a letter stating the way the tariff structure. There was a change, there was slight modification. Sometimes in February, then there is another letter that was issued. A letter was backdated, was issued in February, but the tariff was supposed to start from January. And again, we had the final letter now for the September 12th, which states the tariff structure. And over time, these policies will also go. That said, we're norming, we're storming. And now the new status is that they will give them the concession till December, which means if you are involved in the used vehicle trade, you will get concession. You will not pay levy for cars before December. You will pay the duty that has been stated. And so, but those of us, or those of my members who are involved in the new vehicle trade, are now paying the 35% duty, 35% levy. Structurally, you should know that the price mechanism for setting up any product is your cost of owning, assessing the product, the duty you pay, and the issue about the surcharge and all the regulations that you have to pay to government and taxes. So definitely that will affect prices in some form of geometric form. For the stock they have piled up, it will fizzle out after a period. We're talking about 150 or 160 or 170, if the populations are right, millions of persons. And we're talking about the need factor of an average of about 500,000 to 300,000, half a million to almost 1 million need of vehicles in a year. So whatever structure they are piled up, it will fizzle out after a particular time. So it's not a perpetual stocking.
And no one takes advantage of this level even when they have a stockpile still remaining, and they have to, and the tariffs begin to
the Nigerian trading mechanism. Let me know in quote. There's no quote. It's supposed to be a Nigerian trading mechanism. Is for you to do a replacement cost analysis for your product. That will be the game. What will I use to replace this cost in case I'm out of stock? Okay. But back to the issue of automobile, it's a price-sensitive element. What was I selling now? And this is we're in a global village where we all have access to pricing. And that's why even at the custom point, when they are implementing the issue of tariffs, you wonder when the custom reel out prices. Sometimes we ask them, is it the showroom price or internet pricing? And so you now, upon what basis are you now putting 35%? Those are issues of jurisdiction.
Maybe there was a